Hello everyone, my name is Abdullah Sateh. I am glad to present to you this part of Steve Walsh's book, Exploring Classroom Discourse, which is mainly about classroom discourse and teacher development. In this regard, my outline will be initiated with an introduction and focuses on some aspects of how teachers can improve their professional practices, starting mainly with improving questioning strategies, making the discourse more communicative, enhancing interactive decision making, and finally dealing with reticence. In order to improve teachers' professional practices, it's very important to focus on classroom discourse and place it at the center of the learning process as well as the teaching process. As Walsh emphasizes, teachers should have a comprehensive understanding of the instructional processes involved in classroom settings. In order to achieve this, what teachers should do? Beside what we have seen in the previous slide, teachers should study and analyze their own interactions with learners, and they can use either recording or transcribing tools. So, given the fact that the importance to certain elements in the classroom discourse, teachers should focus and improve four key aspects for their development, mainly questioning strategies, communicative aspects of classroom discourse, decision making, and reticence. Those four points will be discussed one by one in the next slides. So the first thing that teachers should improve is their questioning strategies, given the fact that this strategy is the most frequently used by teachers to elicit responses from learners. Teachers can be trained to ask more appropriate questions. It is stated in the book that Keith Richards conducted a study investigating the fact that teachers can improve their questioning skills through the use of film and self-evaluation. And she found that teachers really made a progress in improving their professional practices in terms of questioning strategies. This study summarizes that raising awareness about these issues can really improve teachers' development. In another study, teachers can improve their ability to use and choose more appropriate questions. So, in order to make a good choice of questions, Thompson stated or suggested three ways of classification in this regard. The first way of classification is the form, or the questions can be analyzed in terms of the form. This grammatical categorization involves the choice of the type of questions that the teacher is going to ask. This grammatical categorization involves specifying the type of the question. Is it an open or closed question, or yes, no, or WH question? The second category in which questions can be analyzed is the content. This is an important element in choosing the appropriate question where it addresses the focus of it. For example, you can just ask the question what the question is about. Is it about personal facts, outside facts, or opinions? The third category in which questions can be analyzed or be classified is the purpose. The distinction here is between referential and display questions. In order to extend the instructional processes, it is preferable to ask more referential questions than display questions. And the second point emphasizes that teachers should ask students questions that they don't know. For example, as Thompson stated, that genuine communication can be facilitated when teachers act as if they do not know the answer to the question or deliberately ask questions that they really don't know. For example, you can ask the learner about his or her culture, customs, or professional background. The second point that teachers should focus on is making the discourse more communicative. Teachers are supposed to make their classrooms more communicative through using more appropriate language and interactional resources. This is mainly derived from the comparison between communicative that takes place in the classroom with that of the outside classroom or the real world. A study conducted by Richard Cullen puts an emphasis on the need of teachers to analyze their use of language from a quantitative rather than qualitative perspective. This study emphasizes the necessity of teacher talk to be appropriate and concise rather than being increased or decreased without reaching the interactional purposes. Of course, in order to facilitate learning and promote communicative interaction. Another key aspect of classroom interaction is decision making. Teachers are required to make decisions that are interactive. This is the main idea of this part. It's very important to develop interactive decision-making strategies in order to engage learners in the interactional processes in the classroom. For example, the second point is to seek out opportunities to teach and facilitate the process of learning as well as the process of teaching. The final point is dealing with reticent students. As it is cited in the book, most of language teachers are suffering from this problem. So in order to find a solution for that, it's important to know its causes and understand them well. Steve Walsh cited a study which addresses this issue, arguing that most of the drawbacks of these problems comes from a lack of self-confidence and willingness to take risks, and a fear of making mistakes or an incomprehensible input. So in this regard, what are the strategies that are used by teachers to overcome this problem? The first strategy is, as Imitu stated in the book, so Imitu conducted a study to see the different strategies that are used by teachers to deal with reticence. The first strategy is lengthening wait time. This strategy mainly expresses the need of teachers to give enough time for learners to think about responses and allowing enough time for them to answer. The second strategy is improving questioning strategies. As we have seen earlier, this strategy is used a lot by teachers. So what emphasizes that this strategy expresses that this strategy solves most of the communicative problems in the class. This study puts an emphasis on the use of more referential questions and fewer display questions. The third strategy is accepting a variety of answers. This strategy is about allowing a variety of answers or responses and making no judgment about the language that is used by the learners. So, of course, to initiate learners' responses. And the fourth strategy is providing content feedback. This strategy has to do with the previous one, in which teachers provide feedback about the content rather than the language that is used by the learners. So, finally, making use of group work and peer support. This strategy helps so much to get students speak out, since it allows rehearsal in a low risk. So those are the main strategies that are used by teachers to deal with reticent students. This is all about the relationship between teacher development and classroom discourse, in which we discussed different areas or aspects of classroom interaction used by the teachers to develop their professional practices. Thank you for watching. I hope you benefited from this presentation so you can use these strategies as teachers in the future to maximize learning as possible as you can inside your classrooms. Thank you very much.